this is being recorded. I think cable access is starting the recording now. Yeah, it's recorded as well. Just wanted to let everybody know that.
So I'm going to read the paragraph, first paragraph. The Historic District Commission of the city known as the Town of Watertown will hold a public hearing on Thursday, June 25th, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 330A 20, relating to the 2020 COVID-19 emergency and to avoid group congregation. This meeting will only have remote opportunities for participation with public access provided as follows. Susan, could you read the rest, please?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Televised on Watertown Cable Access Television. You may join the meeting by virtual Zoom link. Join the virtual meeting audio only by phone with 2 dial-in toll-free numbers. And there's also an opportunity to email comments to myself at sjeness@watertown-ma.gov. And those comments are accepted prior to the meeting or during the meeting, which I will be keeping a watch on.
Thank you. Jim, we just started the meeting, if you can hear me. Okay. So the first order of business is a public hearing continued from the last meeting in June on 12 Marshall Street to review a certificate of appropriateness for proposed exterior doors. Donald Urich, applicant, Timur Abdukar Manov, owner.
I'll share my screen so we can show what he submitted. I know that it got sent to the board members as well, but so give me a second while I pick it. Here. You can see the agenda now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the first image is the street view image of the original door, just to get an idea of what the shape of it is and the window configuration and then the lower panels. So we wanted to just have that up there for you to see. And then I'll switch to the one, Timur, and you can talk about the door that you're looking at.
Sure. Yeah, this is a door. This is one of the doors, actually. This is the one, the closest I was able to find online. I went to a couple other places in Chelsea and around here, but they were not able to get exactly the same one or similar one to the one we had. So I was able to find this design online, and as you can see, all the details about the door are on there. So this is the one, probably the closest, and I want you guys to review it and let me know if you would approve it. This is a solid wood, just like the one I had.
I think it's a very close match, just my opinion. So I'm just going to open with that. Questions, or if anybody has questions. So no questions. So, okay. Comments or anything before I go to does anybody else have anything to say? Otherwise, I'm going to.
I had a question. No, it's not a question, it's just a comment. I mean, I think the doors, the proposed door is very similar to the one that were removed. The only difference, the major difference that I can see is that the glass panels were a little thinner, but also they had a molding around them, which gave them a little more character than the proposed door. But
yeah, I think if I can comment on this, I think the way that this is the sketch, right? I think if the door itself, and also if you have the other one as well with the picture, the photo in it, I think it's more simple photo, which is closer to what I had. It's thinner. I know it looks thick here, but I think it's thinner, closer to the photo, like a live photo that I have also submitted with the other door. And I did ask them because when they sent me the live photo, I said, this is more closer the size of the windows are closer to what I had. They said this is it, and I think I believe that's what they said. So, but
So I didn't, that document had the incorrect reference. So it had a different model from their stuff. So this is the model for the ordering with the 2 panels only. But that first document that he sent you, or that we sent you, does show a picture of this store, but with the wrong
different model, exactly. So,
model.
yeah,
So I
right.
was showing this because it's the actual model, but I don't have the other one in front of me, but I think you all have it and saw it.
I think that my understanding is this is similar. It will look like in the live photo or similar to what I had. That's my understanding from my conversation with them.
Looks good.
Yes.
Any other comments, questions? So I'm going to close the public part. And I'm going to, any discussion? Any motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion to approve the door as presented. All in favor? Aye.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Roll call.
So I'm going to call everybody's name. So Elizabeth,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Jim,
Sorry, muted. Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
and I have aye. So that, any opposed? So the motion's approved. And I just want to say, Timur, thank you for doing all this, and as part of the commission,
No problem.
I really appreciate it. So
No, thank you guys.
yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
And I just so you know, once I submit the order, which I'm gonna do today, and it's gonna take like probably, I think they said 8 weeks to get it, so
Yeah, it's okay.
it's gonna take a little while. So it's not coming from
The other thing I want to say, if you guys get a chance to drive past, the wood is going up and the clapboards and everything, and it looks beautiful. So I think if you get a chance to drive past and look at it, you'll just take the time to do it anyway.
Yeah, we want to have Gideon, if possible. We would like to have you to stop by one more time tomorrow because we took the back down and then the soffits. I would like to have one more conversation with you before we get started on it because my contractors were saying, they're taking the plastic down, but they have to. The wood underneath is rotted because they did the one part.
Yeah, we'll talk about the details tomorrow, and then if it
Okay.
needs,
Awesome.
that way we don't need. This is the public here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to throw that
Just
out there,
touch
but
base
Thank
with
you.
me, and then if I can get out there tomorrow, I will.
Awesome. Thank you.
We have a short day tomorrow.
Great.
Thank you. So the
Thank
next
you.
order of business is 34 Marshall to review the application for certificate of appropriateness for proposed demolition of garage and the approval of new shed and deck. Ryan Eldridge and Aaron Kern, applicants and owners.
Hello.
You look comfortable, Ryan.
Yeah, we're actually we're out of town this week, so
Practice deck.
what's that?
Practice deck.
Practice deck, exactly. Although I don't think the backdrop will be the same.
You're right.
Aaron is tending the children right now, so I'm flying solo. So I think all we had to talk about this week was the door for the proposed new shed, correct?
Yes.
And
So-
I lifted. It's on the screen, right? You can see it.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also have we got both doors. I have something similar to this, but we got it very late, so I didn't send it. But basically, we worked with a company, so we're gonna have the door custom made to match basically exactly the style that is there today, with no hinges visible from the outside. So this door, which you're seeing here, with a cast iron outside handle, which does exist on the existing shed. It's just falling off, so you can't see it in that picture. I think it's actually upside down hanging. So that's what we're coming back with is basically we'll get the exact same door custom made and put on.
Questions?
Looks great.
Looks great.
So
I like it.
Cool.
So this up here on the top right is what the doors will be like?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So there'll be two of them that match that.
Great.
Yeah.
And will the windows, the glass?
The windows won't be there.
Okay.
They won't be there. Yeah.
Right. Any questions, comments?
Well, again, you went to great lengths, and thank you, especially having something custom made. I'm sure that's, not inexpensive and really showed a lot of extra effort. It's going to look wonderful.
Thank you. 1/3 of the cost of the entire thing. So,
Well, I think that the double doors, they have a different just a different look, and so I appreciate you doing it.
yeah. And listen, at the end of the day, it's sometimes a little bit of a hard pill to swallow at the beginning, but long term, it's going to look better and it's going to be better for everyone. So, sometimes you just need a little push. So,
Any other questions, comments? I'm going to close the public meeting. Any discussion or motion?
Motion to approve the doors and the shed design as presented.
Second, please.
I'll second.
So
That
all
was
in favor-
Robert.
all in
Yes.
favor of approving the doors as presented?
No, roll call, please.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was getting to that. So Elizabeth,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
and I for me. So that motion's passed.
fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate all the help from everybody, especially Gideon and the feedback. Frankly, it's helpful to get other perspectives. So,
Thank you. But I appreciate your, seriously. I
Yeah,
appreciate-
Ryan, let me know with your next step if you want to go through the process with the building permit, the demolition, if you
yeah,
can look
we'll-
at
we'll
that as a,
yeah, we'll connect next week
Condemnation.
about
Yeah.
how the best way to go about the next part of this. So,
okay.
awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
So the next agenda item is the public hearing for 120 Mount Auburn Street to review the application for certificate of appropriateness for repair of ramp, bay window, and upper trim on Marshall Street, Marshall, and applicant Cascap owner, Cascap Inc. owner. So you go ahead and make your presentation, please.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate your time tonight. I am a senior project manager at Cascap, and we're owner and developer of affordable housing. And we have a lot of experience with affordable housing that also has historic elements in it. And the request for you today is for much needed work to repair the ramp and the bay window that's on the side facing Marshall Street, and as well some trim work on the rear extension. And the majority of the work is repairing like with like, but we will be looking at trying to replace the light fixtures that are on there with some better looking light fixtures and some more energy efficient ones. As well as looking at using some more composites for some of the trim work. The existing ramp is composite decking with wood posts and metal railing, and we would be replacing that with like. So we have some framing work there that is buckling underneath and creating an issue, and as well can see that it needs a lot of repair work. If you go to the bay, the next picture, Gideon, I think you can see some of the bay there too that has the trim panels that are rotted out, and so
Get there too. So
would be looking to install some Versatech. It's a composite, and we've used it successfully in other projects that we've had that are historic. Gideon, can we switch to the additional information that I sent? Yeah, there's a detail of the. And as well, yes, thank you. Also at the rear brick extension too there. But yeah, so if we scroll down to the next slide, this is affordable housing for elders. We were very fortunate to be brought in by Watertown Community Housing to form a partnership and to maintain the mission of Marshall Place, which had been the Watertown home for old folks. This right here is another project that we've done and developed that's historic as well as 100% affordable for disabled adults. The next slide is Harvard Place, which is also historic and 100% affordable for elders. This one was a nursing home where we ripped off the front of a 60s edition to do that. And this is also affordable housing, 3 gems for disabled adults, which we renovated that. And the following one here too is Bigelow Street, which is also 100% affordable for low-income adults. So if we go to the next slide, okay, there you see again the entrance that we're talking about. And again, we're looking to use composites where they won't really show as composites. So that area that Gideon's highlighting there is the ramp, and then where that's hidden by the bushes, we would be looking for composites in the skirt board and vertical slats, as well for the bay window trim there. And also for the below the parapet there on the brick extension on the underside there, that we had a water leak and it damaged the wood trim, but we're looking for the underside there. If you go to the next slide, it gives you. So this is Versatech. It's one of the composite materials. And if you go to the next one, this is another historic property that we own and have developed. And this is the dormer and detail here before we did the rehab. And as you see on the dormer, that what we did is we wound up with maintaining the elements that weren't damaged and then replacing the trim boards with composite. So the end effect is virtually indistinguishable. So we're hoping to do the same here with being able to use a mixture of wood and composite. So so I have, after this discussion of our request here, I also wanted to try and give you some more information about what we're looking at in the future. But I guess, Gideon, if we go back to the attachment, I guess if people have specific questions or something based on the photo there.
oh, there's that one.
So the composite would be painted,
Yes.
and when it's painted, does it have the same look as wood?
It does. We wouldn't ever propose using it like on the clapboard or anything like that, because it really doesn't. But on the trim board, it really is virtually indistinguishable. And the other problem that we've had, as I'm sure you guys have experienced, is the quality of wood keeps deteriorating. So,
Right.
Wood isn't holding up the way it used to. So.
I had a question about the lights,
Sure.
because I remember when the lights that are there now, when they were proposed, there were actually some other lights proposed, and we had a number of discussions about lights. I would like to see what you're actually proposing to replace them with. And I'm wondering if you have that, you have photos of that, or
So
you could supply that.
I wanted to get that for you for tonight's meeting. The ones that I had selected and was looking at, I wasn't sure that they'd meet code. So because, you know, to have enough sufficient lighting for entryway for senior housing. So I was going to ask if that decision could be deferred to the head of the committee or to Gideon or someone that we could, instead of coming back to the full district, work with somebody on getting a submittal that would be acceptable.
Linda, one idea would be if you wanted to coordinate with me, because we have very specific light requirements, dark sky compliant as well. So certain aspects of it are really going to be defined by what the ordinance requires now, as far as like the amount of light that spills out. And so, and the new LED lights can be basically completely nondescript, not like these lights that are there now are like you know, the kind that you would see on a shipping container ship or something.
When they that wasn't what they were supposed to put up, but
Well, actually, they couldn't. Well, anyway, that's what they ended up doing, and it was, yeah, it was. I don't think they look really great with the building, but.
well, when do you want to do the project?
So we want to do the ramp work this fall. So we're hoping, you know, to get started on that.
Well, I think what we can do is we can discuss and figure out what we're going to do with everything else but the lights, so you can make plans, but depending on what we approve. So any questions?
I would agree with Linda, though. I'd like to see the proposed lighting.
Is this something that I could work directly with you guys instead of coming back to a full meeting, just in terms of timing?
We have to, so that is part of the issue. If they want to get a contractor in there, and if they want to they may be able to do a better job of obscuring. I mean, the way it's built right now, they have a conduit box on every one of those railings on each side of each one. And if you plan for a light fixture and you know what it is, you might be able to have it be inside the new upward posts, which is a much nicer, and they could actually be facing inwards potentially, because the LED lights won't take up room for the clear, you know, it all needs to meet handicap accessibility issues. And so I'm trying to think how this would work in a public hearing model versus if you have like two members that provide advisory or.
Well, my question would be, can we, if we approve it except for the lights, can we, and then they submit the lights, can we have that sent out to members, to commission members to look at and then approve, or we could give you permission to approve the lights, or we could come up with a group of 3 people to approve it. We could get somebody to work with you. 1 or 2 people on the commission could work with you to figure out and move forward with the lights without having a meeting.
I have 2 ideas. One is that we could certainly share any of these. If the preferred light could be shared with the entire commission, but you can't email each other talking about it. So you could say yes to me, I like this light, or each of you could have a question that's like, or, you know, guidance, but then you would have to have the staff make the decision, because if I can't then talk back to you to make a decision, because then that's basically having a meeting.
I would propose that we do with, like we did with 1214 Marshall Street, where we approve the concept, and I think you would probably make a good decision and if you had any question, I would vote to give you the responsibility, put it on your back, no, give you the responsibility to meet with them and and look at the lights. And if you had any questions, then you could refer that to the commission or whatever. And if you felt like you could still share it with the commission, but I would give you permission to move forward with it. We could do that if other commission members don't have a problem.
Another option, if you really do feel like you would like to see the lights, is that if you're not opposed, if it's basically just the actual fixture and how it's like if you're not opposed to it having to be in these locations, they could potentially, the lighting, the actual installation of the lights is separate from your construction project, Marcia.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm brainstorming that. I could imagine you planning for it, getting the electrician in there, getting the, knowing the light, but it ends up being, there's different fixtures. But some of the LED lights may not even be there may be nothing to see. Like they're so small compared to what
Right.
we have today.
It would be a lot smaller, and what we're looking at is an LED downlighting that's attached to the post that is a dark sky lighting. But again, I wasn't sure it would meet the code requirements for
Right.
lumen, so I didn't want to present something that without being 100% sure, as well as the handicapped accessibility requirements for the handrail and passage with the handrail. So it's a small thing, but there's a lot of different things that actually are requirements for it. So
I have a question. So when the lights, you're going to have the posts there. They're going to be mounted on the inside of the post, and they're probably going to be a small fixture. Will it be a lot smaller than the width of the post, so you wouldn't see it from the street?
the ones that I'm looking at, you wouldn't. I have to be a little bit, like, I don't completely know that they would shed enough light. And so that's the only caveat that I'm trying to figure out if we, but it would be much more discreet than the ones that are there. I agree with you that the ones that are there are fairly obnoxious looking. So
Yeah, they should be red and green or something. So for starboard and port or whatever. Anyway, I'm willing to. I think I would want to see the lights, but I'm willing to move forward and everything else. Well, I'm going to stop. So does anybody else have any questions or concerns or comments?
Well, I had one other comment, which is I went and looked at the decking, the ramp, and it looks really dangerous right now because it's so buckled. So I think it's good that you're going to move forward with the project, and I would be in favor of it.
I don't have any problem with the materials. I don't have any problems with replacing and redoing the ramp. Again, this is one of those one of the buildings on Marshall Street that was vinyl sided, aluminum sided, and the siding was taken off. So the house itself is just a much better present. They've done a great job of restoring it. So, and I think that I don't have any problem with anything they want to do. But any other questions or comments? So I'm going to close the public meeting. And is there any discussion? So the motion, somebody else can make a motion beside Linda, but I can't make a motion.
Okay, well, I'll move that Gideon have authority to approve the final design, presuming that he sort of lets the committee know, and if anybody has objection, we'll have another meeting.
Could I suggest that you change it to the preservation agent, just so it's not just
Gideon.
Okay. preservation agent.
And I ask that, I agree, Gideon should be able to finally approve it, but can we add to that the new light would be shown to the committee members, commission members?
Okay. I intended that. I don't know if I said it clearly.
Okay.
You want to add that to the motion?
Yeah, just that the new lights are shown to the commission members. And then I would say that if anyone objects, then we defer the decision to the next meeting.
Any second on this?
Can we get a clarification on that? I mean, I don't.
Yep.
You
So,
mean we're approving it, but just the piece about the lights would be held for an additional meeting? I mean, I don't think we should do anything to unduly delay this.
No, this was just regarding the lights, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And it would only have to go to the commission if there were an objection.
So now that you're talking about this, I'm gonna be the one having to implement this with Susan. There's a list of things that were requested. And so it might, and I know there's a motion on the table there, but it might be best to, it sounds like there's two components. One, you're approving, you're allowing the synthetic material that she's proposing to match, and it'll be for the bays and for the brick facade, right? And replacing the handicap ramp with review by staff or the preservation agent. Then there's the lights, which are, it almost sounds like it's a separate piece that,
Okay, so do we want to break it into two pieces?
I'm not sure, I think you could have it as all one single motion, but you'd have to be very clear that only the lights are coming back. Would only be reviewed and approved by preservation agent with, with sharing it with the committee.
So why don't we, I'll just break this into two pieces, because that way I think there'll be less confusion. So I would like to, Jim, if you could. So with that said.
Jim, maybe you could withdraw your motion temporarily. I don't know what the proper way to do it is.
Just withdraw your motion.
I will withdraw my motion.
Now, if you
I'd like to make a motion that we approve, we issue the certificate of appropriateness or non-applicability for the following, which is the removal of the existing composite decking and replacing it with the proposed new composite decking and that would be a like kind, except for the material would be slightly different. The existing steel handrails will be reinstalled post-renovation. The current posts and handrails on the landing will be replaced in like kind with fir posts and handrails. The underlying wood supports would not be visible, they're not applicable. And the base trim would be able to be replaced with durable composite base trim at the ramp and landing. And that the proposed, the request for replacing
just do two motions. Okay, so.
Two motions, okay.
I think it's good to do it as one because it's going to be a single document and.
Okay. Go ahead.
And to permit the applicant to do items number 1, 2, and 3 on page 1, 2, 3, on page 2 of the attachment to their application as requested. So the only thing we're not approving is 4. It's not a motion to approve number 4.
You have to make it positive.
Okay, motion to approve the work proposed on page 2 and 3 of the attachment,
Items 1, 2,
numbered 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 on page 2, and numbers 1, 2, and 3 on page 2 or 3.
and number 4, the lighting.
No, I'm not addressing number 4.
That'll be a
only-
separate motion.
That's a separate motion.
Okay. Second,
Can I just jump in for a second here? Is those two would then address the bay and the ramp, but the rear addition parapet molding is another section.
so why don't
That's
you
one-
withdraw the motion?
1 through 3 belong.
I'll withdraw my motion. I can't see where that is on the application.
Anyway, what I would like to do, I think the easiest thing to do and the clearest thing to do is to approve the application as presented with the exception of the lights. And then add on to that, if we're gonna make one motion, and add on to that, that the lights will be presented to Gideon and he will,
To the preservation agent.
to the preservation agent. And if he has any reservations, he can put, for his approval. And I think that's all it has to say.
Again, I would amend that to request that the lighting be shown to the commission prior to final approval. And if there were any objections, then it would come back to the commission. If no objections, then Gideon would approve it.
Sounds good. So Linda,
Well, I'm making a motion to approve the application with the exception of number 4 at the moment.
okay,
I'll second that.
okay, so there's a motion to approve the application. All items on there, with the exception of number 4, which is the lighting. So all in favor?
Roll
Oh,
call.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
aye. So everything but the lighting has been approved. So a motion, Robert, do you want to make a motion for the lighting?
I move that the approval of the lighting be deferred until the applicant has submitted the proposed lighting to the preservation agent, who will forward it on to commission members. If there's no objection to the proposed lighting, then the preservation agent shall have final approval. And if there is an objection, then there will be a second meeting on the subject.
Gideon? Well, is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
And do you want a discussion? Gideon, does that work for you?
Yeah, I think that's it's very fair. And obviously, if there's someone who wants to talk about it with me, if there's a, an issue or something, we can work that out as well.
Okay. So the motion is to have the preservation agent approve the lighting, but before he approves it, he has to send it out to commission members. And if there's no objection, he can approve it. If there's objections, then he'll have a discussion with and determine what the next step would be. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, Elizabeth,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
and I. So that's that. Okay,
Marcia, do you want to really briefly talk about the other pieces that you wanted, your informational
I agree.
component?
Well, okay,
If,
sure.
if you
Thank
feel
you
that it's
guys, I
okay.
appreciate it. If you guys, I'll just go through this quickly because I appreciate you guys have had a long day too. I just wanted to, for informational sake, to let you know that we're looking at, doing a lot of work over the next year. This is a close-up showing the other side of the side entrance there on Marshall Street, which also, has deteriorated woodwork. It needs, will be coming, back at some point to the district commission to get approval for repairing that. And then if you go to the next one, Gideon, this is a historic photo of Marshall Place. We're anticipating applying to the Watertown CPA fund to try and recreate elements of the historic portico. We hope we're successful in doing that. It would add
That'd
a
be
lot
this
of
area.
building. Yeah, facing Mount Auburn Street there. If we go to the next slide, Gideon. So the front, this is the existing front of the building here. We'll be replacing the shutters. They had deteriorated to the point where they had to come down. And this is where the if we're successful with the CPA funds would be doing the portico. If we go to the next slide. So here is, I'm just showing some informational pictures again. This is another place where we had used some mixture of composites and wood for deteriorated woodwork. If we go to the next slide, Gideon. And this is a slide of the rear of the building. And we're going to need to replace the rubber roof on the brick extension, replacing some of the air conditionings, and replacing the rear ramp decking at some point. So we're looking at a good chunk of work over the next 24 months. So we'll be back.
I appreciate all you've done for the building. I think I mean, when we moved in, like I said, it was aluminum, I think, and it's just, and that picture that you just showed, that would be great. And I'm sure your next door neighbor would appreciate it.
Nice to meet you. I've seen the work going on over there. That's great. So.
So, all right, so thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, guys.
the next agenda item is the minutes from June 25th. There's one change on page 4, paragraph 2. It says Steinberg.
Sorry.
I think your spell check probably sees you start doing it because it has my name and Linda's name in there and you combine.
Sorry. Okay, noted.
Okay, anybody, anything else? Motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it. Oh,
All in favor of approving the minutes from June 25th with the edit? Elizabeth,
aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Robert?
You're mute, Robert.
I'm sorry, aye.
And I, so the minutes are approved. Any other motions? Any other discussions? Any other comments?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Go, Elizabeth. Jim. Next,
All in favor.
Robert,
aye.
Linda,
Aye.
and I, from me too. So, meeting's adjourned. Thank you all. Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
No meeting.
Thanks.
Gideon. Yeah. Thank you.